Thank you for joining us with the Post Route with your host, W. Earl Kitchings.
Good evening and welcome to the Post Route, the show where we dive deep into conversations with black quarterbacks, both past and present. I'm your host, W. Earl Kitchings. This show is proudly brought to you by Quarter Five Back, the preeminent fraternity for black quarterbacks and home of the prestigious BIP Memorial Trophy, the only award that honors both the top HBCU quarterback and the top black quarterback from high schools around the nation. We are thrilled to have you with us tonight. And if you enjoy the content and the information we share with you, we ask that you support us by doing something real easy. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode here at the Post Route. Join us live every Monday night at 7 p.m. for more phenomenal conversations and sometimes just some phenomenal information. Well, we're at the end of the 2024 year. This is the final show for the Post Route in 2024, and we want to end it by bringing you some information and some trivia, history along with that. So, what we're going to do first is go into the rankings of the quarterbacks who play in the NFL. And there are 10 of them. And we want to just go through that list with you to let you know who they are because they are definitely some important guys. So let's just start from the number 10 slot. Russell Wilson of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's played in 10 games this year. The Steelers are now 10-6. One more game to go before they get into the playoffs. They are looking strongly to finish strong. Russell has thrown for 2,334 yards and 15 touchdowns through the 10 games he's played in. At number 9, another guy up there in the Pennsylvania area, Jalen Hurts, the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen has thrown for 2,903 yards, 18 touchdowns as the Eagles are now 13-3. Jalen has played in 14 games. As you know, the past couple of weeks, he's been a little dinged up going through that concussion protocol. Hopefully, he'll be ready when they go to the playoffs. At number 8, Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. He's played 14 games, 3,320 yards with 25 touchdowns. The Packers are currently at 11-5. At number 7, the Chicago Bears rookie quarterback Caleb Williams. The Chicago Bears are now 4-12 on the year, but Caleb has thrown for almost 3,400 yards with 3,393 yards and 19 touchdowns. At number 6, another phenomenal quarterback, young man leading those Washington Commanders. Right now they're at 11-5, 25 touchdowns, 3,530 yards. Jaden Daniels through 16 games. At number 5, hoping to get into the playoffs, Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Right now they're at 7-9 on the season. I think they have a shot maybe at getting that division win. I think that's what they're looking to do. He's thrown for 3,609 yards and 17 touchdowns. Another outstanding young quarterback in the NFL right now, C.J. Stroud of the Houston Texans. In 16 games, C.J. has thrown for 3,677 yards, 19 touchdowns, and the Texans are currently at 9-7, hoping to cash their ticket. At number 3, one of the most phenomenal quarterbacks you have ever seen and probably will ever see. At 15-1 as he leads the Kansas City Chiefs this year through 16 games, the phenomenal, the great Patrick Mahomes, 3,928 yards and 26 touchdowns. At number 2, the guy that's got the league abuzz, just broke Michael Vick's rushing record for quarterbacks. He is now atop that list of the greatest rushing quarterback ever to play in the NFL, but his passing, not so bad either. 3,955 yards for Lamar Jackson, 39 touchdowns, and the Ravens stand at 11-5. Then at number 1 on our list of quarterbacks, black quarterbacks in the NFL through 17 weeks, 16 games, Geno Smith has thrown for 4,097 yards, 17 touchdowns, as the Seattle Seahawks stand at 9-7. Those are our quarterbacks for the pros, black quarterbacks, that is, going through week 17 of the pros. And there are a few others. They just have not met the bar to be in that top 10. But who knows where this list may end up when we get to the final list after all is said and done in the 2024 NFL season. So that takes care of those guys. So now let me go back to my trivia question. There are 32 teams in the NFL. Only one has had a quarterback to play in only one game. Not this year, I'm talking about ever. They've only had one black quarterback. Do you know what team that is? And before I give you that team, let me give you some history and some trivia. So, in looking at that particular trivia question, let me just give you this. There have been many teams in the NFL, some who have had many black quarterbacks, some who have had as few as two, made their rosters and played. Making the roster is one thing, playing in some games is something else. So I'm going to start with the teams that have at least had two black quarterbacks on their roster in the history, in the entire history of their team. Kansas City. Warren Moon played there in 2000. He played in one game. Since then, Patrick Mahomes has been the name known synonymous with Kansas City. Cincinnati Bengals, two quarterbacks. Jeff Blake in 1994 through 1999. Akili Smith played back in the early 2000s. He played in only 17 games for the Bengals. Since then, none. The Atlanta Falcons. Michael Vick is the name synonymous with the Falcons, having played from 2002 to 2006 as their primary guy. That's where we saw all that electricity happen. In 2007, Byron Leftwich became a quarterback with the Falcons. He played in two games, and now Michael Penix Jr. is the quarterback. They say that may be the quarterback of the future. They had three. The Arizona Cardinals, they've had three. Sean King played in 2004, two games. Kyler Murray is the guy now. And then in 2023, last year, Joshua Dobbs, who's been a journeyman throughout his entire career, he's been at a lot of teams, still hanging on to a position. A lot of experience with that guy. He played in 8 games for the Cardinals in 2023. Then there are the Houston Oilers / Tennessee Titans. Warren Moon played for them from 84 to 93. Steve McNair from 95 to 05. And Vince Young from 2006 to 2010. Those are their three between the Oilers and the Titans. You know, the Oilers changed their name once they moved to Tennessee. Now, the Green Bay Packers, in this modern era, they've had 3. But totally, they've had 4. Jordan Love is the guy now, backed up by Malik Willis. In 2013, Seneca Wallace was on the roster. He played in 1 game. But going all the way back to 1955, and I know you may be saying to yourself, that can't be, or is that really true? That's why we are quarterfined back, because that's what we do. We do black quarterbacks. So in 1955, Charlie Brackens from Prairie View A&M landed a roster spot with the Green Bay Packers. Now, looking at some other teams that may have had 4 quarterbacks, the Detroit Lions, Rodney Peete from 1989 and 93. Andre Ware played 7 games. Charlie Batch from 98 to 2001 played in 46 games. And Dante Culpepper, during his time, played in 4 games. Then the Indianapolis Colts, and before they were the Indianapolis Colts, they were the Baltimore Colts. Well, now they have Anthony Richardson, number 1 draft pick in 2023, played in 4 games that year, 11 games this year before getting injured. Jacoby Brissett played in 15 games for 2017 and 19. Josh Freeman played in 1 game in 2015. But all the way back to 1953 and 1954, those seasons, George Taliaferro played for the Colts when they were in Baltimore. Played in 1953 and 1954. And he was the first black player drafted into the NFL, i.e., quarterback. So that's just a little bit of the trivia. There's some other teams that have had a few quarterbacks, 5 or 6 uh, over time. Cleveland has had about 10 quarterbacks during their history, but the team that has had just one, and here's the thing about it, in their 100-year history, they've had one black quarterback. Now, like the Washington football team, who was nicknamed the Redskins up until 2020, they refused to even have a black player on their roster until 1962, when Bobby Mitchell became the first black player to be listed on the team roster after the Redskins had been around since 62. 30 years. It took them 30 years. The team came under pressure from the United States federal government to integrate the team. That's why they finally did it, because the owner of the team refused. Even when he had the opportunity to draft Jim Brown and Ernie Davis, he refused. Did not want a black player on his team. But yet, your team is called the Redskins. The Washington team was the last NFL team to integrate its roster when they did it in 1962. There have been other teams who have had 5 quarterbacks or less on their rosters, but this team, located in a city where multicultural and diversity is a common thing, a place where 20% of the population is black, a city where black sports stars have helped the pro teams win numerous championships, to have this particular team slight this particular position in their football history, just unconscionable. It is taken, or it took the New York Giants 92 years to have a black quarterback on their roster, and that was Geno Smith, who only played in one game on that roster, and that was the only season he was there, 2017. The only black quarterback in the New York Giants history since the team began in 1925. 100 years in existence, one black quarterback in the city known for diversity and multicultural populations. If I am incorrect with my research, someone please help me to correct what we found. But in looking at the entire roster since 1925, and this came out recently in listening to someone online talk about the fact that the New York Giants haven't had but one black quarterback. If they had that one, the way they were framing it, that sounded to be something like, that's not possible. But yet, these are the facts. Geno Smith started one game in 2017, played for the Giants in 2017, the only season he was there. They haven't had one since him, did not have one before him. So all I can do is say to you, do your research, do your homework. If you got someone who was on the team, let me know, because there's some guys that, you know, just weren't there. And while I think about that, it makes me think about a guy who played for the Chicago Bears back in 1953, came out of Michigan State, Willie the Pro Thrower, played for the Chicago Bears in 1953 and was a teammate, you know, of Al Davis. So, um, Vince Evans, Cordell Stewart, Jason Campbell, Justin Fields, Caleb Williams, those are the guys who played for the Bears. But that was the trivia we wanted to give you, and the history of the New York Giants, in a city that never sleeps. They slept on this. They slept on this. So now we're going to take you to our uh, rankings for the Power Four colleges and give you our final rankings for them because their season, even though there's still bowl games to be played, uh, the guys who are in the top 10 for black quarterbacks at the Power Four schools, their season's pretty much done. At number 10, Jalen Daniels, a redshirt junior from Kansas, playing in the Big 12. He finished the season with 2,454 yards and 14 touchdowns. At number 9, Jacoby Criswell, University of North Carolina of the ACC, 12 games, 2,459 yards, 15 touchdowns. Number 8, from Tennessee out of the SEC, Nico Imaleva, 12 games, 2,500 yards, 19 touchdowns. At number 7, Jalen Milroe of Alabama, again out of the SEC, through 12 games, 2,652 yards, and 15 touchdowns. At number 6, Taylon Green out of Arkansas, another SEC quarterback, 2,813 yards, 13 touchdowns. At number 5, from Duke, Malik Murphy out of the ACC, 2,933 yards and 26 touchdowns. Number 4, Noah Fafita out of Arizona and the Big 12, 2,958 yards and 18 touchdowns. At number 3, Kevin Jennings, SMU out of the ACC, 3,245 yards, 23 touchdowns through 14 games. Finishing out his career at Colorado in the Big 12, Shadur Sanders, the senior, 4,134 yards and 37 touchdowns. And finishing his career at the University of Miami with 13 games, 4,313 yards, 39 touchdowns, set the new Division I record for touchdowns in a season. Cameron Ward, the senior from Miami. Going to give an honorable mention shout out to one of our fraternity members, Mr. Aiden Childs, the sophomore sensation up at Michigan State, finished right under Jalen Daniels with 2,415 yards and 13 touchdowns. Kudos to Aiden Childs. So those are our Power Four rankings for the black quarterbacks at Power Four conference schools. Cameron Ward sits atop of that with 4,313 yards and 39 touchdowns. So those are the guys who we tracked throughout this whole season, and those are the guys that we want to give shout outs to for having great seasons this year. Unfortunately, none of them will be in the mix for the championship, national championship, but all the same, these guys will now become a member of the quarterback back honor roll. And we have different levels that we do. And on one of the shows coming up in 2025, we're going to explain to you what our role, our honor roll is, our distinguished role is, our honorable mention role, so you'll understand how we are tracking black quarterbacks throughout the country, whether at the high school level or the collegiate level, so that their legacies and their histories and the things they did on the gridiron won't ever be forgotten because they've got a home here at quarterback back, and they've got a place to have conversations here on the post route whenever they choose to. And of course, we welcome any of them to be our guest on the post route, and that way they will become a member of our fraternity of quarterback back. So those are the things we wanted to bring to you tonight to let you know just what's going on. And we did have a very special guest coming on tonight, but unfortunately, he fell ill. So we're looking forward to bringing Carry On Strong out of Memphis Business Academy Middle School onto the show sometime in 2025. And that young man, just to give you what his claim to fame is and why we wanted him on the show, that young man, as an eighth grader, won two championships in a 5-day span. That's why we wanted to have him on, because he's just that special. So he won the city middle school championship on a Tuesday, turned around and won the Tennessee middle school championship for his classification on a Saturday. How many guys can win championships in a 5 day span? Kind of unheard of. Well, he's going to be with us in 2025, and we're looking forward to talking to him. Hey, we wishing you to get well soon. Carry on. Get rid of that flu, man. I know mom is taking care of you, and we hope that you get ready for the 2025 season. We understand you play basketball also, so wishing you the best and getting well, and we'll talk to you real soon. So we are at the end of our year for the most part. When we come back in 2025, we're going to bring you the final balloting for the BIP Memorial Trophy, who's on the ballot, and in a couple of weeks, in late January, we will announce the winners of the 2024 BIP Memorial Trophy and let you know who they are, because we had a phenomenal class this year as we've had the past 2 years, and we're looking forward to adding them to our roles on that list. You know, we only get two of those per year, one at the collegiate level, one at the high school level. And let me tell you, we've seen some phenomenal quarterbacks over the past 3 years, and we're looking forward to seeing even more in the upcoming years because a lot of guys are going to a lot of different places. So we'll keep you informed, keep you abreast. If there's anything you want to know about black quarterbacks, let me tell you where you need to check out. Come to the post route and quarter five back. Now, we wanted to talk to you a little bit about going forward in the 2025 year because we are constantly updating our merchandise from our book, The Forgotten QBs, that started this whole ball of rolling about the post route and quarter five back. We ask that you please get you a copy of this phenomenal book. It's got a lot of information, a lot of statistical information, a lot of bios about a lot of quarterbacks who you never heard of that played between 1903 and 1990. Go to our website at quarter5back.com. Click on the book icon. Books are right behind me there, The Forgotten QBs, that came out in 2022. Get you a copy of that book. Then we want to inform you about becoming members or supporters of who we are. We can't make this happen unless we've got support, and we want you to be a supporter of who we are. There are two ways to support what we're doing. You can become a member, or you can just send us a donation. But if you really want to show who we are and what we're all about, get you some of this phenomenal gear that we're putting together. From t-shirts to hoodies to warm-ups to varsity jackets, bucket hats, baseball caps. We are just updating, looks like on a monthly basis. We even got merchandise for golfers. We got golf balls, got a flask, we're working on some other things because, golfers like to play golf and smoke a cigar and have a cocktail while they're playing sometimes. But we've got that. We're going to bring that to you in future shows to show you our golf balls and the things that go along with that. But we are constantly updating. So right now, what I wanted to do as we close out this year, if you want to get a piece of our merchandise, we ask that you just look at what we're doing here. So now here is our official logo t-shirt, the Q5B logo, quarter five back. That is the official logo t-shirt that you can order. Go online to quarter5back.com, click on our email address, let us know what you want to order. We're in the process of making ordering very easy by going to our website. So that is another thing that we are working on for 2025. So this is what it looks like. Quarter five back, that is the official logo. Right now, up until the new year, you can get that shirt, this shirt right here, for just $25. Now, if you really want to get a great shirt, let me tell you about the other shirt that we've come out with. That is the other logo shirt, the sublimation logo shirt here for quarter five back. It's a beautiful shirt made out of nylon, polyester, very, very good quality. It's got our logo on the front. That logo is of Oliver Joyce, who the Bitt Memorial Trophy is named after. So the logo, just like you saw in our official logo shirt, is the jumping quarterback with the number 44 on it. That was his number when he played at Florida A&M. And then when you turn it on the back, you see our name and also a picture of him in the bottom. But you see the name quarter five back Q5B. And then on the side, we've got the wording the preeminent, because that's who we are here at Quarter Five Back, the preeminent fraternity for black quarterbacks. This is our official sublimation logo shirt. This shirt is now going for $50. Beautiful shirt. Recently coming in to match the t-shirt, we now have the Quarter Five Back golf shirt. Identical to the t-shirt, only difference is it is now in black. The logo, as you see it right there with our colors in orange and black, the preeminent down the side, and then of course on the back, the Q5B lettering logo, Quarter Five Back, with the logo of the jumping quarterback Oliver Joyce on the back. The golf shirt sublimation, these are going for $60. So you can get one at 25, one at 50, or one at 60 of our merchandise right here on the Quarter Five Back website. We taking Zelle 904-994-2189. That's how you can pay for it, and we welcome you to join us. Get some of this great merchandise, wear it proudly, and let people know what Q5B is. Quarter Five Back, the preeminent fraternity for black quarterbacks, because our mission is just what we are, preserving legacies of black quarterbacks. And we are looking forward to the day when, man, we become a buzzword. And when you say Q5B, everybody knows what we're talking about. We're looking at bringing in more guys to join us in the fraternity so that they can become a part. And we ask you, if you're a viewer or a listener, it's simple. For $44, you can get your membership and that beautiful logo t-shirt that we showed you. For $44, you get the shirt, you get your certificate, and you get your window decal, the Quarter Five Back window decal. For $4.40, and let me just show you what that looks like. That's the window decal. And we're now making the black logo shirt available to you. If you want to purchase that before the prices go up, you can get the shirt, the certificate, and the decal for $44. The price of the logo shirt will be going up once we get into 2025. So you can get that shirt now for $25 before we have a price jump. Or be a supporting member, be a teammate. Be a teammate. Join us and become a teammate here at Quarter Five Back when you go online and order. And then finally, we want to remind you that every Monday night, we ask that you join us here on the Post Route as we bring you more outstanding conversations and people of interest, quarterbacks, all quarterbacks of interest, to help give you some insight into their careers and to their lives of being a black quarterback here playing the game of American football, especially at the collegiate level. So that is going to do it for me tonight. We want to let you know that we've enjoyed having you this year, 2024. Oh, I forgot. There was one other thing that we wanted to do tonight. One other thing. You know, when we started out doing this show, we had a list of people that we wanted to recognize. And those guys are the guys who make up our fraternity for 2024. I almost forgot about them. So let me give you the names of our fraternity members through 2024 alphabetically. Joe Adams of Tennessee State, Damian Allen of Cal State Fullerton, Kenyatta Allen of Robert Morris, Torrance Bardell of Langston University, Jeff Blake, East Carolina, Albert Chester Sr. and Jr. of Florida A&M, Aiden Childs of Michigan State, BJ Daniels of South Florida, Rohan Davey of LSU, Jack Douglas, Citadel, Kelvin Durham of Fort Valley State, Chuck Ely of Toledo, Bruce Eugene of Grambling, Ricky Foggy of Minnesota, Don Gaffney of Florida, James Harris of Grambling, Bernard Hawk of Bethune-Cookman University, Kelvin Hopkins of the Army, Darnell the Created Kelly of Peachtree Ridge High, Terry LeCount of Florida, Walter Lewis of Alabama, Greg McGee of Howard, Sean Moore of Virginia, Justin Murphy of North Clayton High School, posthumously Reggie Oliver of Marshall, Jason the Thrill O'Neill Jr. of Dickinson Middle School, Eric Phoenix of South Carolina State, Ramon Robinson of Benedict College, Patrick Sapp of Clemson, Trey Seward of Bacone College, Cameron Smith of Winston-Salem State, Taj Smith of Morgan State, Brandon Turman of Edward Waters University, Charlie Ward of Florida State, and Thomas Woodson of Akron. All of those make up our 2024 members and fraternity members of Quarter Phi Back. Kudos to them, and we thank them for being a part of what we're doing. One other guy I think I forgot, and I did, let me just hit my mind. Ray Isaac. Ray Isaac is another guy who we want to congratulate for being on our fraternity. Ray Isaac played at Youngstown State, so I'm glad I thought about that right at the end. So thank you, gentlemen, for coming on the show and being a part of what we're doing. Please, like our viewers, pass the word along to your family and friends and let them know, hey, Quarter Phi Back is real, and we're here to do a great job. So as we close out, I would like to thank our viewers and listeners for joining us in 2024. Thank you for all you've done. Thank you for putting the word out. Thank you for being a part of who we are as we get ready for the 2025 year. I also like to thank our crew who helped make this show possible and all the things that we're doing possible. Will Relaford, our chief photographer, Kemal Azir, the talented social media director, thank you to him. Dr. Will Kitchings, our senior consultant, and my phenomenal producer and director, Ms. Ronleen Kennedy. For all the outstanding and professional help you provide to me and keeping me on point, thank you for keeping us in the mix, guys, and keeping us going forward. So until our next show in 2025, as we say each and every Monday night as we close, go deep and go for the bomb. Happy and prosperous New Year to everyone. Good night, everybody. See you in 2025. Take care.